Welcome to our webinar this morning on web conferencing tools for e-learning. Okay, so any learning model that we are aware of, so whether face-to-face, blended, or online learning model, consists of two major components, right? Synchronous and asynchronous activities. For instance, the image used in this slide, we can see a group of students sitting in the same room and vividly discussing some particular question or problem, and everything happens in real time, so this is a synchronous discussion. When we teach in the physical classroom, when we teach face-to-face, we are engaged in synchronous communication with our students. So we are in the same room, we can see and hear each other, and everything happens in real time. What about online environment? So today we are going to focus on
online tools or something.
Sorry for that. One, I'm muting you. Okay. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the synchronous session, synchronous online session, and we will focus on the real-time collaboration which happens online. So if you're having your class online, it's called whether a virtual class or a synchronous session. So, but what a synchronous session is for you. So I would like you to complete a small brainstorming activity. So can you please click on this link? You will open a Google form and describe what a virtual class is in 3 words. So this is a brainstorming activity, so you do not need to write the full definition, just your associations or benefits, challenges, or main characteristics, okay? So I'm also copying the link to the chat box. So I give you 1 minute. Think about what synchronous online session is, what virtual class is, how you understand this term, and respond in this Google form. You do not need Google account for this, okay? If anything is not clear, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, so thank you very much for your responses. And now I want to show you how your responses look like. So what you think synchronous session is. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Okay, couple of seconds. Okay, and this is the link to your responses. So you can, if you click on it, you would see them. This is a word cloud for you to have an idea what a synchronous session is. Okay, so most of you have indicated that this happens, this is learning, visual learning, distance education, and the main characteristics of the synchronous session is that differ the synchronous session from any asynchronous activities that happen online is the immediate response that an instructor can give to his or her students, and it's a natural way of communication. So basically, synchronous online session is what we're having with you right now. I cannot see you, although there is an option for you to share your video, but for some reasons to avoid some technical glitches, we are not sharing you are not sharing your videos. So you can see me and hear me, so you can feel you have this sense of social presence, although I do not. And the synchronous online session is conversational in style, so both it has both spontaneity and fluidity of a face-to-face class, and a learner and an instructor, they do collaborate, they do communicate, and everything happens in real time. So this is the main characteristic of the synchronous online session. Okay, so let's make a supposition that a synchronous session is an exact equivalent of a face-to-face class in terms of its productivity and its impact on the learning process. So with the only difference that online session happens online, so people are not in the same room. But first, let's think about face-to-face class. So what do we usually need to have a face-to-face session? Okay, so what do we usually need to deliver a face-to-face class? A classroom, okay, so some space. Okay, thank you. Any other suggestions? You can just type them in the chat box. Materials, right? Okay, computer, yeah, if we want to use computer for some activities, okay? Or to watch videos or listen to podcasts and so on. Materials, visuals, okay. Students, exactly. An instructor, right? Natural communication, okay. Okay, also, sometimes it's very beneficial to have a projector and to project what you have on your computer so that everyone in the room can see this. For instance, your slides or any websites, right? And also a whiteboard to write something for students or to introduce some kind of activities using a whiteboard. Okay, thank you. And what criteria do we use to measure the success of our face-to-face class? So what are the signs and markers of a productive and effective class? So what makes an outstanding class? What do you need to observe to say that, yes, this lesson was great, this session was great? Okay, learner engagement, okay, understanding of conversation. Okay, anything else? Feedback, okay, great. Yeah, right, so collaboration, participation, activities, what students' product is, what we assess. Okay, learning objectives achieved. Okay, great, thank you very much. So I think that it would be fair enough to apply the same criteria towards the online environment. In other words, when we launch an online class, we expect it to be at least of the same productivity as a face-to-face session, right? Plus, we get a couple of quite convenient extras on the side, like learning from the comfort of your own home, or no travel costs involved. While advantages and disadvantages of the e-learning is a whole other topic, so we are not going to discuss them today, okay? So the axiom of creating a highly collaborative environment is applicable to any learning model, whether you teach face-to-face or online, or if you blend your classes. And a low collaborative class can hardly bring any significant results. So learners must be part of the class, answering questions, bringing up examples, or sharing their experiences. We need them to get engaged into a number of activities that we have for them. To make sure that we have all this in our online session, basically an instructor and a learner need to see and hear each other, right? So we need to have audio-video capabilities. It's very important to, when we're talking about online session, to choose a right tool for this. So right now, let's discuss some of the features of the possible online tool that we need to make sure that our online sessions are of the same benefit to students, that they are productive, effective, and that we can say that they are highly collaborative. Okay, so we need to see and hear each other. We need chat to type in some messages or to leave your feedback. It's great to have a shareable space, a whiteboard, so that you can introduce all those activities you can do face-to-face, so that you can introduce them online. It's great to have screen sharing option to substitute the projector in a face-to-face class. Document working collaboratively on a number of documents is also beneficial. It's good if we can have multimedia options so that we can watch videos together with learners or listen to audio files or podcasts. And of course, this tool should be free. Both for instructor and the learner, this is one of our criteria. Another criteria is easy one-click access. So it's good if our students or you as an instructor would not need to download anything or install anything. Like in a face-to-face class, to join your class, your learner just open the door to your classroom and enter it. The same should be the same we should have when we teach online. So now we are going to look at some web conferencing tools in detail. But before we start considering their advantages and disadvantages, I have a question to you. What tools, platforms are you using or have you ever used, whether as an instructor or as a participant? And so share your impressions, what you liked, disliked about them. Okay, so you can type your answers in the chat box. Okay, so what tools have you ever used, like this one we're using right now, so that you can see instructor? Okay, Skype, View, Screenlip. Okay, great. With IQ, big blue button. Yes, exactly. They're great, but unfortunately they're not free. Skype with chat box. Okay, Skype. Okay, great. Google Hangouts, thank you. Skype, big blue button. Okay, wonderful. So at English Online, we have a great team of e-volunteers. I'm very happy to see some of them here in this room right now. And when we have our training, we encourage our volunteers to use Skype. The majority of you, I think, have mentioned Skype, and this is Google Docs. Okay, great. And this is a tool that's quite easy to use, and we encourage our e-volunteers to use it because most of our learners know this tool and are familiar with its features. And besides, it has more than 700 million registered users, so we can assume that lots of people do know Skype and do know how to use it. It's a great voice over IP tool for communicating with your family, friends, or peers and colleagues from all over the world. And it's free to start using Skype, so to speak and to see each other, to forward instant messages. Unfortunately, it does not have easy one-access click, so in order to participate in a Skype discussion, you need first to register on their website and to create an account, and then to download and install the tool itself. And it also does not provide the option of shareable space. So if you want to use a whiteboard, a virtual whiteboard for your classes, you need whether to go to another website, or you can also upload and install an application for Skype, which is free, but still it's another step, another installation process. And for instance, if you want to write something on the whiteboard in a face-to-face class, you would never go to another room to do that, right? So it's quite convenient to have everything at the same room. Skype has, the most recent version of Skype has screen sharing options. So even if you have a free account, you can share your screen. And also the most recent version of Skype allows group conference call, so you can have up to 10 people in your room. And unfortunately, you cannot watch YouTube videos together. You cannot listen to audio files together. So if you want to introduce any listening activity, you would have to ask your learners to go to another website to watch the video on their own, and only then to take part in your activities. And Skype also doesn't have the option of document editing, so you cannot work collaboratively on a number of documents. Another tool that has an option of free account is called WebEx. Have you ever used this tool, WebEx? Yes, no? No? Okay. So WebEx, it's a freemium. WebEx has freemium model, so basically they sell their services, but they have also an option of free accounts. And with a free account, okay, Natalia participated in a webinar delivered via WebEx. Okay, it's quite convenient tool, and we would see its option right now. So, and with a free account, you can have up to 3 people in your room, including yourself. So basically, you can have 2 learners. And all participants can share their audio and video. They can, besides, you would also have an option of a virtual whiteboard where you can type words or draw anything, or create mind maps, brainstorm, and so on. And also WebEx allows you to upload documents to that virtual whiteboard, but you would not be able to edit them or to modify them somehow. Although you could, you can highlight text, for instance, or cross out some words, and so on. So it does not allow document editing feature as it is. And it allows screen sharing, so you can browse websites together, and you can also upload media files from your desktop. So you can, if you have some audio recording, you can upload it to the virtual whiteboard, and both you and your learners would be able to listen to the same file simultaneously. Although if you want to watch a YouTube video, then you would need to go to another website, to YouTube website, for instance. And again, it does not allow easy one-click access. So in order to whether initiate a WebEx session or to take part in a WebEx session, you need to download the plugin and install it on your computer. It's not very difficult, so they have a scaffolded process, and you just need to click several times, but still you need to these extra steps to be done before starting the class. For instance, of course, downloading additional software is usually a manageable task for majority of users, but it might be an obstacle for some learners, and whether due to their level of comfort with technology or to the equipment they have. For instance, their computer might not allow this option. And when you to join, for instance, to join this class, you just clicked one button and typed in your name, right? And imagine if you had to download and install some extra software on your computer. Probably it would you wouldn't be scared away by this, I hope, but at least you would find this annoying, right? So it's the same as to ask your learners to bring their own chairs to your face-to-face class. And besides, WebEx is a great tool, but it's a great tool for one-on-one sessions. So if you have one learner, you can definitely consider using WebEx for your sessions. And if you're thinking of delivering an online session for a large number of participants, then it will not work for you. So do you know any alternatives that we can use? Okay. Okay, so another web conferencing tools that I would like to share to demonstrate you today is Google Hangouts. Have you ever used this tool? No? Yes? No? Okay. So if you this is a web conferencing platform, and it allows up to 10 people in one room. And it is cloud-based, so in order to use Google Hangout, you do not need to install anything or download anything. It provides that one-click access to both an instructor and learners. In order to participate in a Google Hangout session, though, you must have a Gmail or Google Plus account. Can you please let me know if you have a Gmail account? Just type yes or no. Yes? Okay. Okay. No? Yes. Okay. So we can see that the majority of people in this room do have Gmail accounts. And 2 years ago, there were 425 million Gmail users. So that we can assume that it might not be a problem to a certain percentage of your learners to take part in this session. Yes, Natalia, and it's pretty easy to get one. So if your learners do not have Gmail accounts, you can send instructions on how they can register for one. Plus, if people living in Canada and also in the United States, they may participate in the Google Hangout sessions session using the whether landline or cell phone. So if by any reason your students do not want to create a Gmail account, you can also suggest them using this option. So when you are in a Google Hangout session, you are able to see each other and to hear each other. So up to 10 people, and it also has the chat option, and it provides shareable space. So you can have a virtual whiteboard where you can collaborate with other participants. It has the screen sharing option. It's also, you can share your screen within one click, so you just need to click on one little icon to start sharing it, or any of other participants can share their screens if, for instance, you want to see the screen of your learners. And also, it has another feature, very convenient one. So you can, if you have any documents stored on Google Drive, you can share them during the call. And Google Drive is like Microsoft Office, so you can have spreadsheets there, Word documents, and so on. But it's cloud-based, so everything is kept online. And you can whether upload PDF files or your Word documents from your computer, or you can create a document from scratch using Google Drive options. So once you share any Google Drive document, every participant in this room will be able to edit and modify this document, or you can even start creating a new document from scratch with your learners. This is the option that we usually lack in a face-to-face classroom, unless we are working in a computer lab. So it's very convenient, and it provides ample opportunities for writing activities and for brainstorming activities and so on. And you can also watch YouTube videos together during your call, so you just need to copy and paste the link of the YouTube video that you would like to show, and every participant in this room will be able to watch this video and listen the audio at the same time. Also, they have on-air feature, and you can use it, which automatically will record your video chat, and it will broadcast it live on YouTube. For instance, if you are expecting more than 10 people in your class, you can use this feature so that other participants can also observe your class. Unfortunately, they would not be able to take part in the activities that people in the room are doing together, but still they would be able to listen to your, for instance, instructions. Or if you want, you can broadcast your part and ask your learners to take part in different activities outside Google Hangouts room using other websites if you are expecting more than 10 people. For instance, English Online used this option, on-air option via Google Hangouts, for Realized 14 conference keynote speech in January, and 345 users were watching it live, although the tool itself provides a room for 10 people only. So we had much more participants, much more people were able to watch the presentation live because of this Google On-Air option. Okay, and last but not least, okay, so also calls via Google Phone are free to landline and cell phone in Canada, just in case you need to get hold of your learner. Yeah, exactly. So I was planning to discuss it a little bit later, but if you have any technical difficulties, or if you want more learners to take part in your class, they can also join this conversation using their phone. So it's also available via Google Hangouts, or there is also another service, Google Voice, and you can call whether from computer to computer or from computer to phone number within US or America for free, USA or Canada for free. And it also allows the conference call feature, so you might you can keep it in mind as a plan B for your sessions. Okay, and also I'd like to mention another option that Google Hangouts can suggest you. It's they also have a number of free apps that you can add directly to your call. For instance, they have Google Effects, and you can that can help you make your sessions fun and unforgettable. For instance, you can turn yourself into a pirate, or you can go to the beach and have some summer fun with your learners, and you might use these options if you want to break the ice. Oh, thank you. Or just to have some laughs with your learners. Another app that can be added to your call is called Symphonya. It is a task and project management app, and it consists of sticky notes and a virtual wall, and it has lots of different organizers. For instance, week planner or to-do list or calendar, like I have in my example. Oh yeah. Okay, Fran just mentioned that these tools are fun and she used them before. Right, so you can introduce almost endless number of activities using those apps. For instance, using this app, you can practice whether you can, if you have literacy learners, you can practice literacy, or beginner learners, you can practice making a shopping list using the to-do list function, or you can practice scheduling an appointment if you use the calendar, or you can or week planner, and so on. So everything depends on your context, your learner's level of comfort with technology and their CLB, and your creativity. Another app that can be added to your call is called Soundation. Basically, this is the application that was created in order to create music together. So you can perform a song together with your friends and record it while being even in different countries. But how you can use it as a teacher, you can record, for example, your students reading or their speech, or record them speaking or something, for instance, when they're their monologue, and then you would be able to listen to their recording together and discuss pronunciation, pace, some challenges or successes, right? So you can use this audio recorder tool, and it will be embedded into your conference call. Also, another application that might be interesting to you as an instructor is Group Sketch. So basically, this is a virtual whiteboard, and you can use it for different purposes, whether to introduce, you can upload pictures and ask your learners to label it in order to enhance their vocabulary, or you can just create a mind map or a diagram or anything and ask your learners to describe it, and so on. And you can do this collaboratively together with your learners. Another application is called Sporcle. Basically, they have numerous quizzes that you can start within your call. For instance, I looked for some quizzes about Canada, and I found this one. For instance, you are supposed to name the official name, national anthem, currency, and so on. And this might be a good activity for newcomers to learn more about Canada, their new home country. And they have also a bunch of other quizzes, so you can just explore them. And if any of those quizzes can be used for your context, then you can definitely use them as a separate activity for your e-session. So these are just a few apps that I've decided to show you. Also, they have a bunch of other apps. In order to get them, you just need to click on these 3 dots on the sidebar, and you will get all the apps and their descriptions and so on. For instance, they also has another game. It's called Toyota Collaborator. It's good if you are introducing vocabulary about around cars, or if you're talking about passing a driver's test and so on. And after creating your own car, you can even take part in the test drive using Google Street View, and you can put the place from where you go to where you go, and this car will drive you there using Google Street View option. So this is pretty exciting, and you can use it where there's an icebreaker, or you can also just introduce it to your learner, and maybe your learner would use it with his or her friends or family and so on. Because by having an e-session, you not only enhance your learner's language skills or communication skills, you also enhance your learner's digital skills. Okay, okay, do you have any questions about Google Hangouts and their features or anything? Okay, go ahead, Finas. How can we get them? Get those apps? So once you launch your e-session via Google Hangouts, basically you would see yourself. Okay, so in order to have anything extra options that I've just mentioned, you can see the sidebar on your left-hand part of your screen. And for instance, this is an icon to open the chat. This icon is to share your screen. This is to take pictures. And these are icons of all those additional apps, for instance, Google Drive, or this is Foundation. And if you want to use other apps, you click on these three dots, and you would see the whole list of apps that are available for adding to the call. Okay. Questions are based on which country we are using it. I mean the type of quizzes. They have a bunch of quizzes, and I just typed in Canada, and they gave me a list of quizzes about Canada. I haven't checked quizzes about other countries, so you can also just use the search function and see what other types of quizzes they have. So basically, these are quizzes on general knowledge, not necessarily only about Canada. Can Google Hangouts be used in a Skype session? Skype and Google Hangouts, they have the same features. So you can use the Google Hangouts instead of Skype. So you will also be able to see and hear each other, Plus, you get those additional options. Unfortunately, if you are in a Skype call and if you initiate the Google Hangouts call, it might cause some technical problems because there will be two video streams and two video calls simultaneously. So whether your computer will just freeze or one of those calls will not work. In order for your learner to take part in your Google Hangout session, he or she just needs to click on one link that you will share with him or her. But your learner must have whether Gmail account or Google Plus account. If your learner does not have Gmail account or Google Plus account, then you will need to give instructions on how to do that. Yes, you just need to, so no installation is needed. You just send a link and that's it. Your learners click on the link and they will be a part of the call. So I think, yes, you will control and all the participants within this call can also share their screens or share their documents. So if you want your learners to do something, they would also be able to do all those things. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, if no, then let's go on. Okay, great, thank you. At the same time, all the features that I've just shown you are the technological part of your session, and a good session is not about the technology. It's interaction and meaningful activities that is most important. Okay, we have another question. When you start a Hangout, you'll have an option to invite attendees. Oh, it's not a question, it's a comment, sorry. Yes, you can whether invite attendees or you can send the link to them, so it's up to you. Okay, and now let's discuss some of the possible activities that we can introduce online, that we can introduce for our e-session. We've discussed with you video call features such as an ability to see each other. We've discussed chat, whiteboard, screen sharing, document editing, collaboration on the same document, and a bunch of others. So what are your suggestions on how we can use all those technical, how we can use the technical side of any e-session to introduce activities that we need for our teaching? Yeah, just any suggestions, any ideas? You can type them in the chat box. Oh, sorry. So what types of activities can we introduce to our learners when we are working online? So when you have an e-session, a virtual class, what activities can you introduce using those features? Pronunciation practice, okay. Error correction, okay, especially using document editing quizzes. Questions, answering questions, okay. What about we are learning? Vocabulary, spelling. Okay, any other ideas? Matching activities using whiteboard, okay. Video audio journals, great idea, thank you. Writing, okay. Okay, great. So, for instance, if you want to practicing vocabulary, screen sharing, okay, For instance, you can use chat to introduce a free writing activity to your learners so that they will type for continuously for a certain set period of time. You can also use whiteboard to brainstorm some ideas, right? Or to create a mind map. Yes, thank you, Marina. You can label pictures or words to enhance their vocabulary. You can work on your handouts. Handouts that you usually use for your face-to-face classes, you can just upload them on the virtual whiteboard, and you can work on them together with your learner during your e-session. You can also introduce listening activities. So you can ask your learners to whether to watch a YouTube video, or you can upload an audio file and listen to the same dialogue or discussion together. You can ask them to describe pictures or to give directions on a map if you upload a map. So basically endless number of games. And if you use screen sharing option, you can ask them to complete a quiz online. For instance, if you cannot find an appropriate quiz for you using the Google Hangout app, you can ask your learners to share their screens and give them the link to the Quizlet. This is a tool for creating online quizzes, and whether you can create a quiz there, or you can just search for Quizlet for other quizzes created by other people that would fit your context. You can even organize a virtual field trip. You can share your screen and use Google Street View or Google Earth to show your learner different cities, different places, and so on, and ask your learner to describe them. And a bunch of other activities. So basically, any activity that you can introduce in a face-to-face setting, you can introduce it online, whether within one tool or if you or using some other tools as well. And also, I would like to share some e-session tips with you. So if you decide to start an online session or a virtual class, please keep in mind that this is a learning curve both for you and your learners. So provide how to join a meeting instruction to your students, so that they know where to click and what they expected to see, and so on, to avoid those awkward moments even before the session starts. Yes, and be patient, exactly. At the beginning of the session, schedule up to 10 minutes or more if needed, and provide an opportunity of for your students to play with this tool, to let participants try out collaboration and annotation tools, and make sure they have plenty of time to get comfortable with this new tool for them, so that the participation is easy and they can really appreciate your activities and enjoy the session time. Also, since we often use multiple devices connected to our computers, remind your students and yourself that to select the proper microphone and speaker source when they are joining the session. For instance, when you joined this session, you had this option to check your devices and to change the microphone or webcam if it was not recognized by the computer. You can do the same thing using Skype or Google Hangouts or WebEx. So every tool has this option of settings or options, or depending on the tool, it might have different names. So make sure that you explain to your students how to select the proper device. Also, flip your sessions. So use asynchronous environments to distribute information before the session. So you can upload some of your Hangouts to SlideShare, or you can just email them to your learners. You can ask them to watch a video or to listen to a podcast before your session, so that you use the valuable time of your synchronous session to discuss, debate, collaborate, clarify materials, or answer your learners' questions. Always have a backup plan. So anticipate technical problems and decide what you will do if they occur. For instance, you can even discuss it with your learners that if something happens, you either will email them with further instructions, or you can call your learner if you work one-on-one and you will continue on the phone. Or if you have several learners, you can use Google Voice or some other tool to create this conference call. And or you can just use email to reschedule the session, at least that your students are aware of the fact that you will contact them somehow and explain what to do next. You can also, it's a good idea to have a couple of extra activities up your sleeve in case something goes wrong. And if you cannot introduce to your learners some of your pre-planned activities, you still have some extra activities to do with them during the class. Okay, and make sure that learning goals and your learners' needs and not the technology drive the instruction. So technology is only the means of communication, means of delivering your sessions. And again, the most part of any session, whether it's a face-to-face class or online class, is your instruction, your activities, and so on. So make sure that even something happens, you still know what to do and how to introduce those activities to your learners, even without using this particular tool. Okay. Do you have any questions about the e-session tips or activities, or any questions in general? No? Okay. Okay. And I also want, what is your plan B for this session? Well, this is a drop-in session. That's why to create a plan B, it's quite tricky. We also have another tool with a queue that we used to use for our sessions, so perhaps we would somehow be able to transfer to that tool. Sometimes view camera freezes. Well, it all depends on the tool and on the quality of the video stream that they have. What's your email so that we can get our certificates? Yes, this is a good question, and it was next on my agenda. Actually, no, the next thing on my agenda is to remind you that we have a volunteer e-tutor program. And if you would like to, if you are not our volunteer and would like to see how online learning works and try to deliver sessions online, then you can join our team, or you can contact me and I will give you more information on the program. Volunteering with English Online is also recognized by TESOL Ontario as a PD activity. So 1 hour of volunteering with us is equivalent to 1 PD hour. Okay, and now my contact information. If you require a certificate of attendance, please email me. If you have any questions about this webinar topic, or if you have any further suggestions, please feel free to contact me, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. And also, all the These slides and also webinar handout materials will be available on our website in the Teaching with Technology blog. If you click here, you would be able to open the blog in your browser and check back next week to whether to rewatch the webinar recording or to upload and look through handout materials and slides and links and so on. Okay? So thank you everyone for joining us this morning. Thank you for your great ideas, for your questions, and for your suggestions. I will see you online and have a wonderful weekend.